people, I'm going to be real brief. I don't want to come out here and blow my own horn. I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot, toot.
Before we start pulling these strings, we have to go back to LAMAR's 616 in LA. We'll listen to some of it. We won't listen to the whole part, but the beginning is important. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's survival. I think somebody lying. Smell somebody lying.
That's enough because we only need to hear the beginning because this is what's going to make sense. Here, let me get this off of here.
He knows something we don't know. He knows something we don't. Now, the next piece of information, which is extremely important to the rest of this video, is right here. He says, to Mr. Aubrey Graham or Drake, may this photo help jog your memory as to where you discarded those items. The issue in the photo should also jog your memory. Jimmy Brooks would not have been proud of you that night.
Jimmy Brooks was the character that Drake played in Degrassi.
This picture, January 22nd, 2023, 3:19 a.m. in the lobby. This is Drake right here. And a lot of people thought that this was a baby at first. Academics even made a joke about it looking like Krishan Rock's baby. But this person right here is not a baby, in fact. This person is actually named, let me see if I can find his name. I think it was Christopher Alvarez. Christopher Alvarez. Now, this is where things start to get crazy, and this is, again, me moving into areas that all of this is alleged at this point, and I'm just trying to piece things together for you guys to see where this leads. But Christopher Alvarez, who is apparently a journalist, and he has been spotted with Drake. He has a condition where he's in a wheelchair, okay? And a lot of people say that he actually may have a ventilator with him on the chair. Okay, so if you remember that intro to 616 in LA, where Kendrick plays that 14 seconds and we were wondering what that is, fans have speculation now that that ventilator is associated with this man right here, Christopher Alvarez.
I thought all that stuff was a reach until I ran into this gentleman, Chill Murray. He's been doing excellent work on this. Let's check him out. Now again, I don't know if it's a reach or not. At this point, I want to know the connection. I want to know why Drake is hanging out with this gentleman and what they have in common. Let's get into it.
That's not the oddest thing about the Christopher Alvarez and Drake situation. So there was a picture taken that was July, was it 22nd or 23rd? And it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's look at that picture again real quick. I should say January 22nd, 2023. Let's take a look at that real quick, right? This was the picture that we looked at that evening. Now, what was crazy about this is that the OVO gentleman in the back with the bags and Christopher Alvarez here. Now, I want to zoom in on this picture to think we do have it here still. Yeah, Chris Alvarez. Okay, I want to zoom in here because this is going to be very key to what we're doing. This part right here is going to be very key on the zoom in. Let me show you. So this is the zoom in, right, of Christopher Alvarez in the lobby. Right? I'm going to take myself out. Pay very close attention to what you see here. Take a very good look at the entire background where he is. And now look at this next picture that was put out recently, today. If you notice in the background, the same bags are there. Let's revert back to the other picture. Oop, wait a minute. Hold on. I got you guys. So, this is what I'm talking about. So, if you look here close, the same bags are there in the picture. The same exact background.
Okay, we got it. This thing that this guy's established. He's a reporter. So did Drake do something to this dude or something like that? Did he write something bad about Drake or something?
Now, once again, I'll show you the other picture. Looks very similar, doesn't it? Let's say we put it about here. And if we look at the extortion picture again,
Oh.
you will notice one in particular difference. The only difference in between the photos is, number one, the indication around the actual photo, number one. Two, this what appears to be edited bruised eye here.
What did Drake do to this dude?
We zoom out. It almost appears as if Mr. Alvarez caught a bruised eye here. So let's read. I'm ready to send. I need to know what happens on the tape. Do you have any samples, a preview? This is your Ethereum address, right? An altercation involving Christopher Alvarez. I won't say any more. Send the funds. Can you send me a preview so I know you're telling the truth? That's an Ethereum address, right? Yes. Send the 800,000. This is my last message. I have the money ready to send right now, but I need more proof than this is a short snippet. So it appears that the mole was trying to purchase the actual footage of what might have happened to Christopher Alvarez.
So wait a minute.
But Christopher Alvarez,
Something happened to this dude, Christopher Alvarez. Because they're extorting him. Yeah, they're paying money, it's looking like here.
Alvarez has now also come out himself and even denies the allegations. Weirdly.
Of course course, because he's paid off. He's paid off.
So let's revert to the article now, because Christopher Alvarez actually put out an article today describing everything that happened, or so to speak. Oh, here's my website. Nope. Here's my website. Why that's my shot's not showing? One second, yeah. I wonder why my shot's not showing. Oh, okay. Alright, so here's the article that Christopher Alvarez put out. Now, what you want to really pay attention to here is right here, the Brooklyn Daily Eagle. So, if you guys don't remember, in the other video that we showed that the Mole put out, there was a newspaper entitled the Brooklyn Daily Eagle. So everyone pretty much dismissed it as it was just a regular newspaper that the Mole was just sitting there with. When in fact, it was an entire article, or should I say, it was a newspaper that was in reference to Chris Alvarez. And real quick, for those that don't remember, this was the Brooklyn Daily Eagle. So, let's think about that, right? He puts out an Easter egg out there, and no one pays attention to this newspaper, right? Now, reason why I'm emphasizing this is because in the new video we're going to look at in a second, he has a different newspaper, and you'll see what it is in a second. But it looks like now that these newspapers that he's also putting are actual clues and hints to the new footage, or should I say new leaks, that he would have in these new blind items that are linked to Drake himself. So let's read real quick what Mr. Christopher Alvarez has said. Says the Drake Kendrick Lamar social media firestorm that burned one reporter's reputation. Now, we're not going to read the editor's note, because the editor's note pretty much is just describing what led up to everything going on, including the Mole leaking information, the 800,000 in the cryptocurrency that we saw there as well. So let's just go down to where Mr. Alvarez has responded himself. Living as a journalist in a post-truth society.
Listen to him.
So my childhood friend and brother texted me this morning. I tried my best not to say anything about it, not to bother you, but I've seen your name all over the internet all weekend. Sorry you got to deal with all this. The evolution of social media has opened a new era of disinformation, and it poses a critical question. What does a post-truth society mean for journalism? Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit in many ways have become fake news factories whose algorithms are routinely gamed for personal pleasure, income, or political persuasion. It has come to a point where it is no longer sufficient for a journalist to simply exist as an esteemed byline. Rather, it is now his job to build audiences by leading an authentic and bold digital life across various social media platforms. I agree. To still be called a reporter. The work of self-representation in social media spaces is certainly time-consuming and frequently challenging, given the persuasiveness of cyberbullying. But the seriousness of how social media now governs much of public perception is no joke. This weekend, a video with a screenshot of me that has been viewed more than 8 million times went viral. Once again, I was in the eye of a media storm, this time for the worst. So clickers are going to click, but now it's time for me to introduce myself and clear the air. I am a 26-year-old trapped in a 9-month-old's body. I was born to a Hispanic couple from Colombia. When I was 2 years old, I was diagnosed with the thanatophoric dysplasia type 2, a severe skeletal disorder in which the person affected has a narrow chest, a small rib cage, small limbs, and underdeveloped lungs. Children born with this condition die soon after birth due to respiratory failure. Currently, I am the only one in the world with my disability, breaking the lifetime expectancy record with ventilator support via tracheostomy. Tracheostomy. Tracheostomy, keeping me alive. These physical challenges have shaped the way I communicate with the world around me. My partial hearing loss would make some conversations difficult, and my tracheostomy causes my voice to be rough. But through the years, I have constantly worked on improving my speech by speaking in public and engaging in conversations. My listening skills have also improved with the help of hearing aids. My own struggles with communications and lifetime of conveying my story in a way that people understand and are inspired by have been a driving force as a Latino journalist, one who was prided himself on being open-minded and valuing different perspectives, and experiences with an eye toward telling impactful stories. So let's get down here. So I have had the privilege to meet Drake, I've had the privilege to be with Drake, Kendrick Lamar, and other celebrities who have been very nice to me, but I don't understand where it all got blurred with the fans. So kind of crazy play on words there, because it was all a blur tour as well when this was going on. I can confirm that I was with Drake on the night of January 22nd, 2023, as we saw in the date of the lobby there. So after his NYC concert with 21 Savage, I was called to meet Drizzy at the Mark Hotel, and we had a blast listening to new beats. I am not in the position to talk about his character outside of our meetings, but I can say I was not violated in any way.
Nobody asked you.
I want you to take notice in what he says there. I was not violated in any way. So if there was no violation in any way, that means if there was something to happen, it would have been consensual. So growing up in a society that was not meant for me to succeed in, I would never put myself in a position that would further dehumanize the disability community. So according to the CDC, approximately 80% of women and 30% of men with development disabilities have been sexually assaulted, and 1.8% of women with a disability have reported rape in the past year. So another struggle, and to be put in that light has been scary for my other friends in this community. There are rumors that a hotel security guard was also fired for letting me wait outside the hotel instead of letting me out to freeze. I believe this is true, and I feel bad. I'm sorry to him and his family. Good people doing good things out of the kindness of their hearts should not be condemned, and the Mark Hotel should reassess who they put at the top of the chain. The Brooklyn Eagle has reached out to the Mark Hotel for comment and will update with their response. Lately, I have been getting a lot of spam phone calls, texts, emails, and social media messages saying that I am the snitch in this beef, that I accepted hush money from Drake, and that I was somehow in on the plan because I follow underage high school girls.
Disgusting!
I follow underage high school girls.
Get out of here, you damn nigga!
Why is Drake hanging out with this guy that follows little kids at 3 in the morning to listen to some beats? Why? We all have to ask ourselves why. Let's get back into it, man. You know what I mean? Let's just get back into it.
Friends in this community. There are rumors that a hotel security guard was also fired for letting me wait outside the hotel instead of letting me out to freeze. I believe this is true and I feel bad. I'm sorry to him and his family. Good people doing good things out of the kindness of their hearts should not be condemned, and the Mark Hotel should reassess who they put at the top of the chain. The Brooklyn Eagle has reached out to the Mark Hotel for comment and will update with their response. Lately, I have been getting a lot of spam phone calls, texts, emails, and social media messages saying that I am the snitch in this beef, that I accepted hush money from Drake, and that I was somehow in on the plan because I follow underage high school girls. Didn't know that. First, I don't know anything about Drake and Lamar's beef because to me, life is too short to hate and I don't follow it. Second, I'm a hardworking journalist who holds elected officials and private entities accountable. I don't have rappers on speed dial to be the mole or snitch, so you didn't deny anything about the following the underage girls, as well as two things to note here. So you don't deny. So you're not denying the fact that you were there, right? This is just my hops on this. This is just my hops on this as we take a look at this picture again. So you're not denying the fact that, you know, you were there on January 22nd, 2023, right? The biggest thing that stands out to me is the fact that you said you were listening to beats and you had dinner with the man.
Yeah, 3 in the morning.
Who in the fuck do y'all think y'all are fooling? Because who the fuck has dinner and listened to beats? Anybody at 3:20 in the morning? Yeah, I know you're a grown man. And it's after the concert, of course. I'm thinking, of course, maybe 11, 12 o'clock, maybe. So you would take about that. Maybe 12, 1, 2 in the morning, right? Maybe even 12, 1 or 2, you listen to some beats, right? Almost 3:30 in the morning, you met up with Drake at the Mark Hotel that is, you know, said to be Jeffrey Epstein affiliated. You met Drake at the Mark Hotel at 3 o'clock in the morning to listen to beats. Nigga, do I look stupid to you?
Get out of here, you damn nigga!
I don't think anybody, you know, all 108 views out here. I do not think anybody is fooled by this. Because ain't nothing open at 3 o'clock in the morning except legs, as they say. Let's just be honest here about that one particular thing, okay? Another thing to add, to note, is the fact that you said that you had heard that you got someone fired from there. So let's dissect that real quick, right? You heard that you had gotten someone fired from there. So if we're thinking about you getting someone fired from there, right? Let's think about this as well. Because you had dinner inside the Mark Hotel with Drake, right? Which means you were at
3 in the morning.
Caspia, where they got $35 bagels. I'm paying $35 for a damn bagel. I bet to see you create this bagel from dough to solid bread in front of me. If I'm paying $35 for a bagel, I bet to see Jesus himself come out and create this bread for me before I rub the butter on it. Matter of fact, if I'm paying $35, you better rub the damn butter for me. I'm just being honest. $35 for a bagel? Kiss my ass. Anywho, Caspia, the Mark Hotel is where Christopher Alvarez and Drake supposedly had dinner. Not even supposedly now. You confirmed that you met with him there and listened to beats and had dinner there. So, the Mole put out this particular picture on their Instagram. Of course, also letting us know that this picture and this particular night is what changed their life. So once again, noting the fact that, like I said, they said that someone that they had gotten fired, right? So let's look at just the rants that were also said from the Mole, right? Because that'll tell us a lot about what we just, were informed on. So there's the logo right there. There's the Petty Time. There's the jewelry. There's a new video there. There's a girl that had tried running at Drake while Drake just pretty much just walked by. It was going, oh, it's not that serious. It's not that serious.
Running at Drake.
Oh, Drake.
But again, it's another night where he's seen going into the hotel. Now, I wonder if that was the actual night that he went into the hotel. But back to January 22nd, of course, in 2023. See here, 1 year, 3 months, 22 days. Those were good men. Ever heard of an Ebony scandal? Well, welcome to the game. Now notice it says those were good men. So apparently this Mole was also confirming all along that the Mole was not the one that actually gotten fired from the hotel. So everyone is running around thinking that the Mole is the actual employee that got fired from the hotel, that Drake got fired from the hotel, when it actually is not. It is not the Mole at all.
Told y'all
This Mole never worked for the Mark Hotel. May this photo help jog your memory as to where you discarded those items. The issue in the photo should also jog your memory. Jimmy Brooks would not have been proud of you that night.
Jimmy Brooks, again, I told you, is Drake's name from the garage.
Now,
The show he used to act in.
moving forward, of course, because like I said, with the whole Christopher Alvarez thing, my whole thing is you are definitely covering up something. You are definitely covering up something, and it's starting to feel like Drake paid you to do this article for the Brooklyn Eagle. It sounds like, in conclusion to that, that you were paid off to make sure that Drake was not seen in a bad light, or you, for that matter. Because if you were to confirm what happened to you, as you even said in your own words, it would frighten your community as well. It would frighten other people that are like you with a disability as well. So for that matter, you chose to take the safe route and not mention this shit at all and say, hey, let me just say, you know what, Drake? Ain't nothing happened that night. Yeah, I did meet you that night. You know what I mean? We did, listen to beats and just chill out, whatever. Why are you just sitting there listening to beats with him and having dinner at 3 o'clock in the morning is the biggest question that has already confirmed your lie. I want to say that. So, to confirm things, of course, so I had sent this picture to myself, but I guess oh, you know what? I'll do that for you guys real quick, because it ain't going to take but a quick second to do that. Because I noticed that the picture was also taken down.
Watch this one.
Because I've been trying to Google that same exact picture that I found earlier. Oh, actually, never mind. There he goes. So apparently, this picture was also taken that same night of him in the wig. It says freak off gone wrong.
Gotta pause it right there, because if you watch part 2, gotta watch part 1 to go through all this stuff. You know what I mean? Drake has some type of weird fetishes, you know. Let's go.
So, how in the heck does this happen? Christopher Alvarez in what looks like a pigtail wig, with a purple dress on, looking like a little baby. Well, doesn't that put a spin on the rapper's name that you've done a song with? Little Baby. Very disturbing and disgusting is all I want to say.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the first time. If y'all just getting to part 3, which will be my last one of this whole thing. Now, and I'll tell you why at the end of this. But Drake has some type of weird fetishes. That's all I'm gonna say. You just gotta watch it. And shout out to this gentleman, man. Really bringing it up.
If this is what your fetish is, Drake?
Link will be in the description.
Babies with pigtail wigs. Because if you are, like I said, confirming that you met with him that evening, you are also confirming that this picture is real of you. Allegedly. And you are also confirming that this gentleman to the left had something to do with you being in a pigtail wig and dress, looking like a baby. Very disturbing, Drake. Needless to say, very disturbing. So, the Mole has been putting out a series of tweets, pretty much almost in a huge rant, right? And of course, this is the footage here of Christopher Alvarez rolling around in the lobby. And this is just him just basically chilling in the lobby with no one there just yet. But it looks like it's also 9 minutes before the OVO gentleman walked in. So, also to note, this is the Panasonic laptop that was said to be, you know, just a regular Panasonic. That someone on Twitter said, "Oh, that's not a tough book. That's just a regular Panasonic." Looks to me like this is definitely a tough book Panasonic.
I'm gonna throw Drake some bail here. It's because Drake has writers and reference tracks, so he needs probably one of these types of secure type of computers. Not because he has anything nefarious on there, maybe because he has these reference tracks and people writing for him and stuff like that on his computer. That's probably why it has to be so secure. I'm just,
And as we know, the tough books are the military grade ones that pretty much are used to keep a lot of, heavily documented, heavily secret documented information. And for this footage to be on that Panasonic, I want you to think about that as well. Because if this is the quote-unquote said alleged Drake's Panasonic
Again,
Tough.
and the thing is, there's something about people, like we understand, we seen the new footage about the Puff Daddy stuff. Like these people, for some reason, just like those psychopaths and mass murderers or whatever, they keep the recordings of their crimes instead of, getting away from it, like deleting it or anything. It's like crazy.
Book, it would mean that is where the footage actually came from in the first place. So then one has to think, if Christopher Alvarez has now confirmed that he was there, why does Drake have footage of this? Why does Drake have footage of Christopher Alvarez entering the lobby that evening? That's something to also think about. Let's see if we can go from where we left off that yesterday. Because apparently he had also, I don't know, does it he or she? Apparently they also had said that they were going to be, threats were basically made to academics and Drake that if they didn't redact what they said about the information being true, that they would let out more information, of course, by 12 o'clock noon today, which it looks like, of course, they have done so and made promise on their word. Also showing the footage of them having the laptop and, Christopher Alvarez, of course. So we looked at the logo here. This is the K logo of the Caspia. It says, "I will never forget this." And it keeps referencing July 27th, 2023. So not just January, which also confirms that this has nothing to do with the employee that was fired. It's also July 27, 2023 when Drake actually came back. He stayed at the Mark Hotel yet again. Almost as if he has a residency there.
This is the Mole putting out
Now,
the information.
the Mole has put out a new video today. Now, notice here, he has the Wall Street Journal. Now, if we've been paying attention here, it also to note the Brooklyn Daily Eagle was in reference to Chris Alvarez because Christopher Alvarez writes for the Daily Eagle. So one now has to think him having another newspaper with being the Wall Street Journal, and there are different captions around there saying investors dial up pressure on firms' earnings, and the big bold print that says brands ditch TV advertising for web as audiences shrink. Almost as if you're trying to say that brands are basically going to ditch Drake because of his affiliations with pedophilia and the underage girls and so on and so forth, which is sort of happening because Drake's stock is now also dwindling and going down because of all these allegations from the Kendrick Lamar beef. So we take something like the Wall Street Journal, we have to only now think about the fact that it's a clue to something else that the Mole actually has. Pardon me, I'm parched. Now, this was interesting to see here as it is more jewelry that appears to be of Drake's. Now, what it looks like here to me, I'm not too sure what this is, but it looks like Pride jewelry. And if we remember earlier, we looked at him being a part of the House of Ebony back in 2016, in where that was a Pride friendly club. It's earrings and a necklace here. Oh, didn't realize I did that. Sorry.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar, because I'm not gonna get video strike for this, because you know he let us creators pretty much live and use this music without.
Looks like someone's been getting a lot of target practice in as well.
Drake has been doing cease and desist on his music.
Now, of course, it's very hard to make that out, but it looks like there's some sort of nameplate that's also on these beads and chains as well. And like I said, with the different rainbow set, this is definitely something LBGTQ. This is definitely pride jewelry here, if I'm a guessing man here, a betting man. And I saw it, like I said, that he has been getting target practice as well. Dear RB, did you really think that this was all about a shirt and some scripts? This is about diamonds. Time for hard truths. Now, this picture here, if you notice, there's the doggy necklaces. This is from the popular jewelry store that Drake had attended. And I remember specifically someone had mentioned that there's another jeweler. Excuse me, so no, this isn't from popular jewelry. I believe this is from the other jeweler that was listed on the first items. Listed on the first video that had the items with the prescription pills and so on and so forth. There was someone there that had made a necklace for him, and this is the dog necklace that was made. But then there's also the female jewelry, and of course we see the beaded jewelry up here again. So is it starting to now, I guess, connect to any truth of him doing the dances for rich people? Especially when we have the female jewelry with the male jewelry. Drake's not necessarily doing his and her activities nowadays. So if this is his stuff, that means this bottom row with the pearl necklace, bracelet, and earrings, it's starting to sound like this is also part of Drake's attire as well. Again, if I had to be a betting man, that's looking very cross-dressed to me. It says, you see, the minute you said stolen, you introduced a dilemma in my world, more specifically my professional world. Lost excuse me. Lost and Found is a well-known and looked forward to perk of hospitality. It is an incentive to thoroughly perform your duties in the hopes that one man's trash, negligence, or kind gesture may turn into a treasure for you. And it did for this person. That means it was no secret to my closest colleagues that all of these items were long in my possession. So last Monday, when
So I'm thinking that Drake left some stuff at the hotel room. So there probably no mold.
I finally was shown Meet the Grams in the employee cafeteria, I instantly understood the assignment. So if I'm hearing the employee cafeteria, this is someone that works for PG Lang. This isn't someone that worked for the Mark Hotel, definitely now. This is someone that works for PG Lang specifically.
Okay. PG Lang is Kendrick Lamar's independent label, for those who don't know. So did this person feed the information to somebody from Kendrick's label?
So you see, as a prince and because of my children, let's go up to the more interesting ones that came out today. Okay, yeah, so I was informed that the statements made by DJ Academics had also been relayed to her, because you know the pocket watchers are always hating. I was informed that I should speak with an attorney, because being associated with items declared stolen may have negative consequences. And then it says, so Mr. Allen likes to make threats publicly, huh?
Mr. Allen, excuse me, is DJ Academics. And I guess what they're trying to say that these items were stolen, not actually found.
The men were asked for nothing but the truth and refused to do so. And now you think you will harass me? Thanks for letting the world know, idiot. This shall make it abundantly easy to acquire a carry permit now. So apparently someone definitely was doing a lot of target practice and has looked into getting that license to carry. That's how things work in your home country. Not this one, not the land my ancestor built the improvements upon. So this is why it goes not like us. I thought you were all smart.
They're referencing the track, they not like us.
Now, where was I? Getting petty time, of course. And it says, how long will we as people allow these folks who scream down allegiances to other governments to continue to scavenge our black American culture? They are not like us. Let me ask a question. You call us niggers and niggas, right? Do you know what we call you? You see, in the 1920s, the movement was called the New Negro Movement. Here in the 2020s, this is the New Nigga Movement. Hard ERs will get you sent to the ER quickly. We are all collectively gatekeeping our shit now, all of it. You know, like how you do all yours. But I digress. After the meeting in the office, I later contacted Miss Edward. All files regarding any items in my possession were transferred over to her, so that if I am ever detained or possession of stolen property, maybe the attorney has the proof of chain of custody. So it says, I was in disbelief at this claim of theft, considering how the items came to remain in that building. I kept thinking back to July 27, 2023. By now, you should have come to the conclusion that I am quite meticulous in my methods. We all occasionally slip though. I have throughout this story while fending off hacking attempts, threats against me and my house members, and more. However, you and your team slipped flat-faced after you departed that time. So much emphasis on that little bag, and whether or not JT shipped, whether or not you just shipped the big bag, whether or not JT shipped. Oh, and whether or not JT shipped. That the big bag was picked through and tossed to the side with these instructions. Really needed that. The rest is trash. But you are you. So it was not trash, not your stuff. Nobody wants to hear that bullshit. It was placed with the other high value lost and found the safe under a camera for 3 months. Therefore, when asked by the director of the department to clear all the old stuff out of the office for reasons I won't discuss, I obeyed, but that required an addition.
So I'm thinking this person might have been a worker for the hotel or something like that, and they found this stuff. Drake left it there, and they sold it to a person from Kendrick's camp.
Additional step, simply trashing everyone was not feasible, as some of the items were extremely expensive. It is, after all, the billionaire's playground. To that point, are you a billionaire yet? I wouldn't know. If not, I challenge you to look through another lens. Imagine having a service actual monarchs, kings, queens, princes, and princesses, presidents, and head of state from all over the world with assets in the trillions on a daily basis. With the goon squad, so that then enter you with a goon squad that pushes the service providers who are trying to assist out of the way, once banging one in the head, thinking he was a pap. It's kind of weird. Being nasty to all that stuff. Wow. Okay, so doing shit like be there in 10, then show up in 2, they want to complain about preparation. Unbelievable. You leave a wake of annoyance and stress in your path, in path that makes most people's skin crawl. On top of costing people to be fired, costing people to resign, and nearly costing me to be arrested. All on a lawsuit against young Theodore from earlier. Of course, Theodore was the gentleman that was outside yelling that Mark helped Epstein. Mark helped Epstein. Mark helped Epstein. He was that guy. At first, I was annoyed when the new third-party company took my department. I was provided with no company information. Okay, so move on up a little bit. We're going to see what that person got the target practice as well. We went over the mandated reporter training that this mole definitely has to report on anything foul going on. See, can attest to the fact that I do my job to the letter of the law. That's what makes me amongst the most. Okay, where's the one where he was talking about killing him or getting killed? You were warned so many times. My eyes are not trained to determine age. They are trained to decipher adult from adolescent. Young Theodore made changes to how he monitored young girls. So for all of you people who think you are going to play the games with me, I have a suggestion for you. Go back to your normal lives before you lose them. I am not someone for you to play with unless you're a player in any game. All items for sale November 9th, 2024. Bring your bags and big ones. So obviously this person is looking to definitely make a bag off this, of course, which not necessarily, I don't even think that is the case, because if they were, they wouldn't be spending $800,000 on a photo. Just think about that as well.
Hold on.
Okay?
The mole's not trying to make a bag. The mole's trying to expose things. But somebody inside of Drake's camp paid $850,000 in cryptocurrency to get that footage. They didn't want that footage to come out.
So you people thought that I would give away the leverage for free. You're foolish. That goes to the lawyer. I like pictures too. Hide, no need. Now what? Let the chips fall as they may. I've already spoken with my mother, and I'm prepared to die. So we bold around here. I die, let's die. Wow. I die, lots die. And the other videos that come out. So you all have bothered me, my family, my co-workers, and friends for what? The truth? She tried to hide her tears when I told her on Mother's Day that I might be murdered soon. But we have that kind of relationship. So imagine you telling your mother, hey, I might be getting killed soon for the shit that I'm doing. But, yeah, I was just playing, you know. You all have bothered me. Oh. Wait. Oh, here we go. I will lay down my life. Will you? Oh, my stomach turned that night. I made promises to a 6-year-old me to never allow things like that to happen on my watch. When I had to give the standard salutation after the transport, enjoy your evening, a piece of me died. God's plan. Now, here's the Snapple fact. I only told Kendrick about the items. So he didn't tell Drake about anything. This wasn't anything that Drake leaked to him. None of the sort. Who are these other moles? The House of Ebony is what validated me when I felt like a unicorn in the hood. They molded me into the lion you get today. And why is the truth so expensive? Of course, not necessarily much riddles as much as this person is looking to just make the bag off things right now. Not too many riddles are going on right now. I notice it's very few compared to what we did see prior to on that note. So, like I said, the fact that this person thinks that they're going to die is what really stood out to me. Because if you already know, of course, you're a martyr in this situation, right? So you figure there's going to be some type of casualty when it comes to that. So it's understandable when...
I think we're about to wrap this up. I got my conclusion.
It's understandable when you like I said, when you have those type of casualties, man. I guess more so at a loss for words, because like I said, I didn't think the mole was going to be this informative of so many different things, having the blind items leading everyone on to a mystery of clues and things of that nature. You know, It's a lot, man.
When last year I spent more money on spilled liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made.